This is the gospel according to the IRS, Breaking Points and Church Financial Updates. And now, here's the authority, Dr. Michael Chitwood and Breaking Points.
Hi, I'm Michael Chitwood. Welcome to Breaking Points. As you know, as you do the church books and you try to comply with all the laws of the land, you know as well as I do that you could possibly go to bed totally legal and wake up totally illegal. The reason for that is because nonprofit law and the tax-exempt code is so broad and it's so much material that if you don't have someone that really on top of this, you can get so far behind that you'll seem like you'll never get caught up. I would like to give you some hope today and let you know that a firm, Chitwood & Chitwood, is a firm that's been doing this for over 62 years. We have nonprofits, large and small, that we represent, so we want to give you the confidence that we know what we're doing. We're the very best when it comes to churches and nonprofits. I want to talk to you today about a subject that is misunderstood. And this subject needs a lot of clarification. It's going to be totally different than what you've ever heard before. In fact, think about this. If you were taught something years ago that was wrong, it would still be wrong today, even though what you're hearing would be maybe a different way. So what we're going to show you today is something that maybe you thought was right, that you were taught years ago, that's wrong today. I'm going to be talking about designated gifts, the offering envelope. I'm going to be talking about all of the things that go into receiving an offering the right way legally. Now, don't get worried. I'm not going to ask you for an offering. I'm not going to suggest that you send an offering because that's not what we're about. We're here to help you. This is our ministry, and we're here to help you, but we certainly aren't going to receive an offering. I'm going to show you the legal way of how to record that offering and the certain requirements. There's many specificities that go into the offering part. In fact, you know as well as I do, the offering is probably the most important part of the entire financial picture of the church. So let's get started, okay? Breaking points, breaking news. Grab a pad and pen. Let's get going. First of all, I want you to put at the top of your page there, designated gifts. Designated gifts. There's 4 things that qualify for designated gifts. Number 1, it must be corporately in nature. Now write that down carefully. Please make sure that when you write it down that you're going to be able to read it tomorrow or the next day. Number 1, the 4 classifications for designated gifts. Number 1, corporately in nature. Number 2, no strings attached. You cannot have any kind of string or benefit attached to that love offering or gift or tithe that's coming into the ministry. Number 3, you must make sure it's arm's length. That means from the top of my shoulder to the ends of my fingertip. It's arm's length. It's that far removed from any possible private allurement. And the last thing, lack of influence because of any personal gain. Lack of influence because of any personal gain. The 4 categories of designated gifts that you must understand. Number 1, corporately in nature. Let me explain it to you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time, and this is just an example, it's now time to receive our morning tithe and offering. Now, you know there's 2 commandments there. Some of you preachers out there, you only deal and dwell upon the tithe. But there's 2 commandments out there. Bring the tithe and the offerings into the house. So it's time to receive a morning offering, our tithes and offerings here. We want you to take an envelope, and if you're paying by check, cash, or credit card, or money order, fill out an envelope and put your gift, your tithe, your offering in an envelope. Here's why. That envelope becomes your source document. For who? You, yes, and for the church. We have to have an audit trail of all funds that come into the church, just like we have an audit trail of all funds that go out of the church. So we have to have a concise, complete, verifiable audit trail. And the offering envelope gives it to us. Nothing else gives it to us because the IRS says under Section 170C of the Internal Revenue Code that your checks are not total proof that you made a contribution. And we'll go into that a little bit later in other programs, but for now, it's important for you to realize that designated gifts must comply with the 4 things: corporately in nature, no strings attached, lack of influence because of any personal gain, and it must be arm's length distance. In all that you do, get wisdom and understanding on this subject, because how you record that will document the audit trail for your church finance compliance program. Until next time, this is Michael Chitwood, and Breaking Points, I'll see you tomorrow.
Breaking Points gives you the latest IRS updates and tax law. Pastor, if the IRS came to your church today, what would you say? If you really want your house of worship in order, call 1-800-345-9117.